Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. In truth, nothing can dim your magnificence. You are a divine spark, a universal light. You are here on purpose. You are part. Angel Heart Radio is now live streaming on our Facebook page, and we have a fully searchable, brilliant podcast platform for you at angelheartlisten.com. Speaking with Angels with Teri Angel on Angel Heart Radio. Start now. Angel Heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Speaking with Angels. I'm Teri Angel, and I have a beautiful guest with me tonight. But before I bring her on, I want to just remind us all that our angels are listening to our heart song. They hear our cries for help, our laughter, and our every need. When we reach out our hand, they take it under their wings to a place where only love resides. They wait patiently while we open our hearts to them. Will you open your heart as they speak to you now? Welcome, welcome. Tonight, my guest co-host is Shawntay Hockless, and I owe you an apology, Shawntay, because I do not know your new last name, but welcome to Angel Heart Radio.
Thank you. New last name will be Lopez.
Lopez. Well, congratulations to the new bride, and I'm so happy to have you here with me tonight. And I have to tell our story. Can I tell our story?
Yes, please do. Yes.
Okay, so Shawntay and I know each other for a few years, going back a ways. And I got the nudge to start a radio show, knowing nothing about radio. Absolutely zip. I'm like, you've got to be kidding here, angels. So Shawntay and I were talking every day. And I told her, I said, you know, I was told to do this. I've set up the show, but I have no idea what to do. And then I said, Shawntay, you're supposed to be on this with me. And the look on her face, she says, maybe someday when I'm ready, right?
Yes.
Well, that someday came like really fast. And we laughed. I don't think I've ever gut laughed so much at us trying to figure out what we were doing, how we were doing it. We didn't have a script. We didn't have an agenda. It was just like, okay, we're supposed to go on and do this.
Yes.
All right, angels, we're saying yes. And you know what? Those were some of the most beautiful shows, Shawntay. I've re-listened, and they were absolutely wonderful.
Yes. All spirit led.
Yes. And I said, well, I was sharing before we went on the air, they're so appropriate to today and we're going through today and what's happening in our world, because we dealt a lot with emotions and releasing and letting go of stuff that we're holding on to that we don't need. And it was just beautiful. And I just love having you and your beautiful insight, that spiritual, you're just such a natural, you just speak from the heart.
Thank you.
That's what makes it so wonderful, isn't it, to do
yes
that?
Yes. Yes, it's been a blessing. Yeah, I remember that. Should we go on the radio? My instant insides were like, no, shut down. Like, no, I don't want to be out there. But I think back to those days a lot, especially lately with everything we're going through. And I just remember how much of a blessing it was, and to be able to guide people through times such as this.
Yes, definitely. And one thing that we always did, I'm multitasking because I'm sharing this to my timeline. One thing we always did was we invited people to sit with us, like around a campfire, fireplace, and we called in the angels and we guided people there. Can we do that tonight?
Yes.
I love just sitting and having conversations when I do shows. So I think that would be a very warm place to begin. Um, so let's call in the angels and then let's lead people to where we are, because we always go to that warm center wherever we're at. And I see it like a little campfire right now that's burning.
Yes. Everybody needs warmth right now in these times where so much fear is being created. And so even if you're not buying into the fear, there's still the collective anxiety because of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this will be a little respite from all of that if you come and join us on this show tonight and just feel into the warmth that we're going to bring to you. So just take a deep breath in, everyone that's listening. Go into your heart space. I always like to touch my heart because that brings the focus there. And breathe in a beautiful, calming, energetic breath into your lungs. And then breathe it out slowly. And then do that a couple of times as you center, as you focus on the now moment, not the moment before this or what might be coming up afterward. Stay in the present with us. And if you can safely close your eyes, let's do a visualization. We want to take you with us. So envision that you're walking through the grass. Feel the grass on your feet. Really feel it. Get into that earth energy. And walk through that grass. It's very soft. It's green. It's inviting. You might even smell the grass or smell the fresh air of being outside. And as you walk along the little path that you see ahead of you, it leads you down to a beach area. Now feel the sand underneath your feet. Continue to walk toward the light. You see the campfire going on there at the beach. You hear the waves coming in from the ocean. Smell the salt air. And you have a blanket with you, so just bring your blanket and sit it on the beach as you sit down in front of this fire. And look at these inviting flames as they come up. All the deep colors, red, yellow, orange, a little purple in there. And as you're sitting there, you see Shawntay and you see me and all the other people gathered around. And then you see 4 angels surrounding us from each direction. And from the east, there's Archangel Raphael. From the south, Archangel Michael. From the west, Archangel Gabriel. And from the north, Archangel Uriel. And they're sharing with you that you are safe. This is a safe place for you to be. Just feeling into the energy of love as you're sitting there. We want you to continue just to watch those flames. And just know that Spirit is with you. There's an angel right beside of you, no matter where you're sitting in the circle. And Shawntay, I'm hearing Archangel Raphael right now just comforting us, letting us know that the angels have this. They have the earth right now in their arms. They're cradling us and comforting us as we go through what we're going through. And they want us to continue to focus on positive. That's something that right now can be very hard to do, can't it?
Yes. I think there's a lot. I think this time that we're in is really asking us as a whole to go within and to truly heal so we can be the change that we wish to see in this world.
Yeah.
It's, all the distractions are being eliminated to really just take this time to focus on ourselves with as much self-love and self-care as possible that we wouldn't have been able to give ourselves before.
Absolutely. So it's a time to not resist what's happening.
Correct.
Yeah, because when we resist, we're just going further and deeper into it.
Yeah. Creating too much resistance. Of course, this is very different for all of us. This is a first on a global scale that we all have to go through this, but it's interesting that we are being asked to do so as a collective.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, and what I've heard from the angels, because I stay very in tune with them telling me what's going on and how to handle this. And I'm getting very much that it had to happen this way. It had to be global. It had to be all of us really experiencing the same thing at the same time for us to get the message.
Yes, to remember that we're all one and we all need each other and we're all connected.
Yeah, we weren't getting that before, were we?
No, division through race, through beliefs, through politics, everything. And now to be literally sat on a timeout and to be sent to our rooms.
Yes.
to think about what's really going on, to take that hard look within and not to, okay, this person's doing this person's doing that. Oh, wait a minute. Does this really matter in the big scheme of things?
Yeah, exactly. To really look at, what was I so upset about with that person?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. And we don't realize what we have until we don't have it anymore. We don't have that personal touch anymore to be able to go to our family and friends and put our arms around them and comfort them. When you go through a trauma, that's the first thing you want to do. You want to have that connection with somebody, right? And this is a trauma.
Yes.
This is something we're all experiencing. And we can't do that. We can't comfort anybody right now with hugs and be in close proximity where we can really show that level of care that's needed at this time.
Yes. Yes. We're really being asked to connect with ourselves in order to be able to better give to those around us. We were so disconnected from ourselves with all of the distractions. We can only give away what we have, and if we didn't have it, there was nothing to give another.
Yeah, so true. So true. So we can look at this in one of two ways, can't we? We can stay in anger about it, stay in fear and panic. That's a lot of the initial process that people were going through. Or we can look at it with the eyes of, wow, I have time to really work on myself now. I have time to get to know me better.
Yes. Yes. That's where a lot of the disconnect was for many of us, is not knowing who we were, not taking a long, hard look in the mirror, being able to recognize ourselves. And now we're at a halt and we're literally locked inside and have no other option.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of excited about what's going to happen on the other side of this, because we have been forced pretty much to sit. So as we're sitting, we have choices. We can just sit through this like, okay, I'm just going to watch the news. I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to distract myself. That's a possibility of how this can be handled. Or we can sit with ourselves in our quiet time. And I'm excited about getting to dig in deeper, getting to really get in there. And I know you and I many times have talked about our shadow selves. This is time to really see what else needs to come up to be healed. I have a feeling that's a lot of what this is about, don't you?
Yes, I truly believe it. I believe there's a large amount of people who have been doing their work, but we have not had the ability or the time to really sit down to get rid of the last of the remnants, the little pieces. We haven't had time to come back to pull all of our soul fragments to ourselves, and this is allowing us that opportunity. So we come out on the other side better people. And because the way we were, the normal that we were used to, that's dead and gone. That no longer exists. So on the other side of that is going to be a new way of living and relating. And this downtime is our internal transition to prepare ourselves for that.
Yeah.
Really go within and dwell within a secret place that no other time or opportunity would have afforded us.
Beautifully said. Oh my goodness. So if people are listening that don't understand about pulling our soul fragments back together, what would you say? How would you tell them to begin with that process?
I really think it's going within. I think we're all, for the most part, pretty aware of either however you want to look at it, our weaknesses or points that we focus on that we would like to strengthen, or little things that or things that we've worked on healing, but we know there's fragments there that we haven't let go of. They're just kind of lingering, and this time to allow to sit and really think about it. And not only when we do our inner work and we get prepared to heal, we have to revisit things, not relive them. And I want to make that clear. We revisit them to take an honest look at ourselves, to figure out, okay, where did this trait come in from? Where did this anger come in from? Where did this trigger come in from? And so it allows us to eliminate the distractions, to go back in our timeline to figure out where we picked up something or why that trigger happened. And so by allowing ourselves to go back and revisit it, isn't to relive it, but it's to give it understanding. So we shed light on the darkness. So the darkness has no choice but to flee. It no longer holds us captive. So the way I've been looking at this time is for us to go within, dwell in the secret place in order to do the inner work, so we can be freed from all those things that held us back.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautifully said. Yeah, it's so interesting how when we really start looking at our emotions, it's like, where did that come from? There's been times with the whole thing that's been happening recently in the last couple of months that all of a sudden I just felt like I was on quaking, like everything was shaking. And it wasn't so much fear as an anticipation, not of the good thing,
Yes.
but it was just like that quakiness, that shaking inside. And I think a lot of what hasn't been healed yet is when a crisis or a trauma happens, it goes so deep into our emotional bodies. And it takes a lot of work to bring that out. And if we haven't really excavated and really gone in there and dug in, it's going to stay, isn't it? It's going to keep popping
Yes.
up until we bring it all up to be healed.
Yes, and I find it interesting that at this time we're being asked to take that internal look, but it's always said that our ministry starts at home. The change we want to see starts with us. And so in order to do that, we are now at home where we have to create our own safe container in order to be able to open up and to heal those wounds, those emotional wounds, those wounds, whether it be from childhood or whether it be from a past relationship, whether it be for self-forgiveness. Many of us are still hurting because of not things that were done to us, but us not forgiving ourselves at the time those things were done because we didn't know what we know now.
Right, right. And good point. It's important, I think, for us not to go into a victim mentality, which is so easy to do, isn't it, in a situation like what we're faced with right now,
Yes.
and to see all of this happening to us. And it's so important to distinguish that this isn't something that happened to us. This happened for us
Yes.
to really connect again. That's the big message I've been hearing from the angels. This is for us to connect.
Yes, I have been very blessed to see within my neighborhood. Never before have I seen so many families, mothers, fathers, children out walking together, spending quality time together. There's no handheld devices. It's just people are getting out and connecting again, even if it's, yes, we have the shelter in place order, but families are being brought together where they wouldn't have done that before. That there's so much that goes on within a day, and you wake up and you look, and you bring your head up and you wake up, wait a minute, 7, 8 o'clock at night, because it's just one thing after another. Even for myself, I remember my schedule was boom, 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 from one thing to the next, and everything had to stay in line, because if it didn't, it was going to throw something else off. And so really being able to take those pressures off and distractions off, it's more connecting now, connecting with self, connecting with spouse, connecting with children, reaching out to loved ones and checking on them and having open and honest conversations to get connected again. I've even considered, and it's been on my heart to, put a challenge out there on Facebook to connect, for you to pick 5 people, the first 5 people that come to mind, send them a handwritten letter.
Mm-hmm.
When is the last time we actually picked up pen and paper and sent out a heartfelt letter to somebody so they can read it?
Yeah.
But when they're going, yeah, so when they're going through bad times, when they're going through a challenge in life and they're ready to give up or want to give up or just throw their hands up, they have something tangible to pick up and say, oh, these are my good qualities. Oh, I do matter. I am important in somebody's life.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, what a great idea, because I haven't written a letter and I don't even know how long. I couldn't even tell you the last letter I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and a very, very dear friend, Sherry Myers, who is producing a movie about angels and how angels are real. Her mother is in hospice right now, and she has shared the address where we can write her a letter. Her mom, I think, is 93. I believe I'm remembering that right, Sherry. Um, so yeah, it's things like that we can make a difference. We can still send letters. The post office is still open and
Yes.
working. So,
Yes.
oh my God, I love that idea, Shawntay. Thank you. But let's take it a step further. What if we wrote a letter to ourselves at this time?
Yes. Yes. I never even considered that. Even a letter for us now in our present moment, but to the person we're going to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
To remember this time, because this is a moment in history none of us will ever forget.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like, how do we want to be on the other side of this? So you can even write that in your letter. Write down how you see yourself once this initial crisis part is over and we're able to go out into society again and interact again, and hopefully learn our lesson to not get so caught up in things that don't matter and really focus on things that do matter. So this will be a great opportunity to write those letters and say, this is what I decided on this date, that when I get through this is how it's going to be for me. And if we all wrote those letters and really took it to heart and looked at that, wow, I think we might really make a difference when we come out of this situation.
Yes. To live intentionally, and to, in that letter, to call those things we want to see in our life into existence. To write it down is powerful. We just moved into our new home, and so I had boxes in my closet I had yet the opportunity to get to because that's how busy I was. And so I just did it yesterday, and I went through boxes and had books, and I found an old journal, literally 4 years to the date. It was, one of the dates was March 28th. And I reread that passage from that day, and in its entirety that I wrote has come to pass.
Mhm.
And so that's how powerful we are as creators. And I think that's what we've forgotten and have become disconnected from, that now we're being asked to come back to center to be able to be those intentional people and set this world in the manner in which we want to live. And so if we took the time and opportunity to really from the heart write all that stuff out that we want to see come to pass, how much better our lives would be 4 and 5 years from now.
Yes. And words become things.
Yes.
We know this. We know that's how we create. It's
Yes.
with our words. We choose how our world is going to be. We make those decisions.
Yes, we do.
And we speak it into existence, don't we?
Yes, we do. I was shocked. I sat back in my chair like in awe of how much I created by simply writing that and had forgotten.
Mhm.
And then just to reread it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And
It
that's
was.
powerful.
It was, and it still is. I still think about it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so what do I want to create next? You know,
Exactly.
and yeah, and that's the thing. We are our own Picassos of how we want our life to be. What do you want to paint? What picture are you painting for yourself? And you do that through your words. You do that through writing it out. You do that through affirmations and journaling, even vision boards.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend that does vision cards. And I'm with a friend right now. I'm not at home. I came up here to do a broadcast because it's quiet here. And guess what? I'm here. I'm quarantined here, which is not a bad thing at all. But I did bring my cards with me, my index cards, and she has lots of magazines. So what you do is just like you would create a big vision board,
Mhm.
you create these cards, and each card is what you want to bring to you, what you want to manifest. So we're going to be doing some of that. And yeah, it does. It creates your reality. The energy you put into that is what goes out to the universe. And
Yes.
that's what comes back to you.
Mhm.
And I've said many times that the universe, God, angels, spirit guides, they don't hear our words. They hear the intention behind the words. They hear our heart. They
Mhm.
listen to our heart song, just like I said at the
Yes.
beginning.
I was just going to say that as you mentioned that. I remember a line that stuck with me with Michael Beckwith. And it goes, the universe corresponds to the nature of your song. And that song is what's coming from our heart, what's coming from our intention and our pureness within inside. And, you know, by doing that and centering yourself and what it is you truly want, desire, and setting those intentions, it's like going to a restaurant, placing your order and having it come to you. We just have to place that order, let it go, and trust that it's going to come to us or better in the way in which we thought.
Exactly. And trust that that chef is going to make that meal just the way we want it with the ingredients that we want. And we don't have to keep going and checking on it. Did you remember to put this in? Did you remember to do that? We do that, don't we? When we
Yes,
put
we do.
our intentions and our prayers out to God, it's like, oh, did you remember this? Okay, let me have a hand in helping you with this, God. Like you're not able to handle it, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, we just that's the big part of the secret is being aligned with God and the angels, going, dwelling within and going in our heart center and heart space, and then just releasing that and letting go and believing and trusting in faith that it's all going to come to pass in divine timing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I hold an intentions group once a week, and the vision that I saw tonight and the message I got was that we were being told that spirit, the angels, the masters, they have this. They have it. It's in control.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is just to keep doing what we're doing, to not focus on what's happening, focus on what we're doing. And how are we living? What are we
Mhm.
doing with our lives right now? Have we
What
put
are
them on
we,
hold? You know?
yes, what are we doing to keep our vibrations high?
Yeah,
What are we doing to keep our minds and our hearts pure and focused and aligned with God rather than giving in to the fear and everything the media is posting to create fear? You know, we all have the opportunity to do our part to raise the vibrations. On my Facebook earlier, I put out, I know a few people who are struggling right now, especially the people who are extroverts and really need to be out and doing their thing. And they're really struggling being home right now and on this, intense lockdown order. But we can go, there's all kinds of videos on YouTube to play in your home, because if you're affected, if one person's out of alignment in their home, they're going to affect the rest of the people, and it's like this domino effect. So if we all did our part and got on YouTube and chose a hertz frequency that resonated for us to help bring our vibration up, something that simple is all of us doing our part to raise the vibration of this earth so we can all heal together.
yeah. This is a great time to have family meetings and
Yes.
to share some gratitude. You know, just tell each other what you're grateful for about that person and start lifting each other up. You know, so many times when we are stressed by work and schedules and having to cook dinner and blah, 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 our day just kind of rolls along. We don't stop and tell the other people in our lives that we're grateful for them because we're just too involved in what we're doing. Like you said, you were constantly going, going, going. And now there's that time where you can maybe sit with your kids, sit with your husband and say, I'm grateful for you, and really bring that out in a family meeting. It would be great to do every day. Wouldn't that be great if families did that every day?
You know what it reminds me of? I remember you used to do the gratitude jar.
Hmm.
I think this is a prime opportunity for us to go back and do that.
Yes.
Because so many of us can get caught up in, I don't have this, I don't have that, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, wait a minute, let's shift our focus. What can we do?
What can we do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that gets us out of the victim mentality. What can I do? It's like,
Yes.
I can't control certain things. I can't control this virus. None of us can, but I can control certain things. And I really think that's what, and don't laugh, that's what the toilet paper shortage is all about.
Yes.
Hoarding, hoarding the toilet paper
Yes.
because that was something they could control. I'm
Yes.
going to have this. So, gather as much of it as I can because I can
Mhm.
control that. I can't control everything outside of me, but that I can control. So it's getting your power back, taking your power back and not falling into the victim mentality.
Yes.
Um,
The wilderness mentality.
yeah,
The wilderness mentality is there's not enough.
right.
There's not enough for everybody, which there's more than enough for everybody. It's just we have to stop thinking in that mindset that there's not enough when there is. There's way more than enough. And we have to, again, go back to placing our order with the universe and trusting. If we all took a moment to sit back and think of all the many different scenarios and situations we've been in where we thought, okay, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. It always happens. It may not have happened in the order you thought it would. It didn't play out the way you thought it would, or it didn't come when you thought it should. It always does, because God and the angels always have our back. We are really being asked to dig our heels in and trust and walk by faith and not by sight, because everything around us is in panic mode.
Hmm. Yeah.
When we have to calm those fears and just keep, kind of like a horse with blinders on, not being naive to the situation, but just saying, okay, I'm not going to buy into the fear panicking, and I'm going to walk in trust and in faith that all this is for the better and everything's going to be okay.
Beautiful. Absolutely. We have choices, and choice is a great tool to get your power back. When you say, I can choose to do this, I can choose to sit with my family and communicate more, you're taking your power back and you're
Yes.
owning your power.
Yes.
And And that's a
Yes.
beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I see that is going to be what's going to really bring us out on that other side of this in a huge way, is people walking through this fire. I always call our traumas or crises fire,
Mhm.
walking through that fire with confidence that you're not going to get burned up. You're going to come out on the other side of that and
Yes.
you're going to rise like the phoenix.
Yes. Yes. The fire isn't for us to die in. The fire is for us to be purified of all those things that held us back. That's why the phoenix comes out rising out of the fire with wings. It burned off all the unnecessary stuff and the stuff that was weighing us down. And this is the time that we're in. We were all built and created for such a time as this, or we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no accident that we're here at this time.
Correct? No accident at all.
Yeah. We chose this. We
Mm-hmm.
chose to be part of the solution and to
Yes.
be here on this planet at this time to shine our lights and to put that message out loud and clear that you're not alone. You're not alone. I work very closely with Dr. Ruth Anderson, who is the founder of Enlightened World Network. And she was given a very clear vision that there are 500,000 earth angels surrounding earth and working to bring more peace, more calm, more light onto our planet. We're not alone at all through this. So
Mhm.
even though we've been isolated and we can't go out and see each other's faces outside of where we're at, other than at maybe the grocery store, um, we don't have to feel alone because we have all this wonderful help, angels and spirit guides, and you know God's presence right now is really being felt strongly. That
Mhm.
energy is so prevalent, and a lot of people, when they go through a crisis, they question, what was that all about?
Yeah.
So you start, I know that the first time that happened to me was when I had kidney failure. And oh boy, I was ranting and raving. And I'm like, what was that all about, God?
Yes. Yes.
And
And
the
more
next thing,
recently, yeah, and more recently for the both of us, our breast cancer journey. What was that for? What was that about? And it's another opportunity of a deeper level of healing.
mhm, yeah, and to see our path more clearly.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. They were my doctors and family and people were amazed. Like, why are you so calm? Like, don't worry, on the inside, I'm kind of freaking out. But I remember just reminding myself to stay centered, to stay focused as much as I possibly could. And just listening to the meditations I was talking to you guys about earlier, just to have a better outcome. On the flip side of it now, being where I am today, had I not gone through that process, I wouldn't have learned how to stay still in the storm and let God be God, to trust and walk in faith that I was going to be completely healed and okay. And this, to me, is just another opportunity of that in a different form.
Right. Absolutely. And I totally agree. That's the same thing with me. Once I had that talk and like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, and was shown very clearly that it was part of my path and that I needed to go through that whole experience to have more empathy, to really understand what people go through, not just with breast cancer, but especially for women with breast cancer, but also for anybody going through a trauma. And trauma can be anything. It can be a loss, it can be a death, a separation, illness. It can be any of that. And of course, a world disaster that we're facing right now. So it really was crucial to go through that particular fire and come out on the other side of it strong. And that is what happened. And I know that's what happened with you as well. We came through
Yes.
with a strength that we didn't have before.
And I think that that's something we forget. We can go through things and we think, why me? Why me? Why is this happening? But it was never meant to keep us stuck or for it to be something for us to dwell on. It was really created for us to show ourselves what we were made from.
Right.
You know, to rise up to the occasion, to come out better, stronger people, and not just for ourselves, for those who we're connected to and who we're going to cross paths with in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of strong people coming through this, and strong internally, which is what really matters. Is that inner strength that's going to get you through it, and that's going to help you to create that new world. This is a new world that's coming.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be the same as when we went into this at all.
No, it's not. The old ways of being and relating and the lack of connecting, that's what's dying off of us. The disconnect in more areas than one. And so we're going to, on the flip side of this, you know, we're in that transition right now as we speak, and it's internal. And so we can come out after that internal metamorphosis and transformation, we can bring that to the world we want to see. We want to see that play out differently. And it all starts with us. It all starts within. And so that's what our incubation quarantine period is for.
Yeah, it is. And it's to help us to see that our focus has been so 3D. It's been on the material. And now it's time to switch that up and focus really on what is important.
And yeah, and I think we're all going to be amazed at how much the law of attraction is going to work in this. Those who didn't understand it before, is everything that you ever wanted and desired, because you're allowing and letting go and trusting, how much faster it's going to come to you.
Absolutely.
Because before, when we were chasing after it, we were pushing it out rather than allowing it to come to us, allowing us to go to that restaurant and place our order and it come to us. And that's what this transition and transformation and metamorphosis is for, is allowing that to work for everyone as a collective and a whole now.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I love this. I think we're getting pretty close to time, but one thing that I wanted to bring up, because I know you do have children, I think a lot about the children right now and them going through this particular situation where, you know, as adults, we kind of have an understanding that we have to do this. You know, even though I don't like being told, you know, don't do something. So I know with kids, that's a lot more expanded, to tell them not to go out and play with their friends, not to go see their group of friends. How are your children handling this time?
My daughter is more of an extrovert, so it's a little bit more challenging for her. Mom, I want to see my friends. Mom, I want to do this and that. Okay, I get it. But if this is really live and out there for you, she's has a compromised immune system, so it's a little bit more challenging with her. And I'm like, I love you too much to take that risk. And so, you know, you're going to have to FaceTime, you're going to have to text. And even I've thought about sitting down with them too and going back and writing letters, teaching them, like, how far removed are our kids to even know what handwritten letters are, let alone sending it through the mail. You know, our kids live in a world of technology versus going back to the basics. For my son, he's a little bit withdrawn too. He's just kind of, you know, and I'll have to pull him out. Come on, come out here with us. You know, let's do this. Like, let's do that. Just last night, not that I want cookies in the house because we're all inside, but something to get them engaged in. You know, we bake cookies, you know, just to get them more in line. And even just like right now, I'm really taking the opportunity with them to walk them through things. The next step is going to be sitting them down and teaching them how to balance a bank account. You know, the life skills that they're going to need, that school's not going to teach them. School will teach them the basics, but to actually learn to survive out here. is what I'm going to be sitting down teaching them. So I've been doing more tours with them around the house, walking them through it, why we do the things we do, with more explanation. So they've been doing pretty good with it. At first, it was a little bit more resistant, but then, they've learned, oh, this is going to go longer than what we thought.
Yeah.
So now it's more of, okay, mom. So they're adjusting. And that's the great thing about our kids is they're resilient as
Yes.
long as we walk them through the process.
Yeah. And they're also going to respond to the parents' energies, or the
Yes.
caretakers, wherever it is that they're at. So the more we can stay calm, the more they'll stay calm.
Yes.
That's the way
I have definitely learned that, especially through the breast cancer journey. That was vital for them. Like, I need to remain calm for them, and they came out better for it. So, yeah, we definitely, as parents, as the ones our kids are looking to, is to stay centered as much as we can, whether we're listening to the frequencies, whether we're going outside in the grass and grounding in our backyards, whether we're taking baths, just something for us to stay centered and focused, so that energy of love and compassion and grace will transfer to our children in our home, in our atmosphere and environment, because this is where it all starts.
it is. So beautiful. So Shawntay, if there's anything you would like to leave people with, any thought, what would it be?
What's showing up for me right now for everybody as a collective is really just rising up, being that phoenix coming out of the ashes, whether it be from your childhood, whether it be anything from childhood to now to this very moment where you're at, to allow yourself the love, the grace, and the opportunity to truly heal from those things that were keeping you held back. This is your time. This is your time.
So beautiful. Shawntay, if somebody really falls in love with you, with your words, how would they reach out to you? Where would they find you?
I am on Facebook, Shawntay Hockless. I'm on Instagram, and I am also on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Well, I hope that they do reach out, because I have certainly enjoyed our friendship over the years. And, even when we don't see each other online or talk for a long time, it's just like we just talked yesterday. It's so comfortable to talk with you. You are so wise. You're young and wise, and I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I have really, really enjoyed having you on the show tonight. Just absolute beautiful wisdom and beautiful empathy with what's going on in the world today. So I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the listeners, everyone who tuned in and who will tune in, and will tune in on the radio when this broadcasts there. Right now, we're broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And then tomorrow in the States, it will be live on Angel Heart Radio. So thank you to everyone who listened. I do have an ending little blurb that needs to be played, but I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to you now, Shawntay, before I play it, and then we'll be off the air as soon as it ends. Thank you for being here tonight. I love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world, and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com. Views and opinions expressed by Angel Heart Radio hosts, guests, co-hosts and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.